What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Case Digital. My name is Zach, and today I want to talk about how to create and or install a snippets file in VS Code. Now, what is a snippets file? Well, a snippets file allows us to simply type in some keyword like I can say if name. So these are all snippet things that I have set up. So I go ahead and say if name, hit enter, just like that. It passed in this set of code or this snippet of code for then me to to use. This is oftentimes a snippet is going to be something that is commonly used. So say I didn't want just that one. Maybe I want it to be a main function. Boom, just like that. I have a snippet that is set up. Maybe within this main function, I want to do an if statement, So you can just do like if right here. If you just do that one, that's just going to be VS Code's typical one that just says, hey, that's just an if, a keyword in Python. But I set up a snippet where just like that, I have an if statement where then I can say, which highlighted the different areas that I can choose. So I can simply say, I'm going to say x is equal to 5 and then tab over. And now it's going to take me to the next section. I'm going to say print, which I can use another snippet and then just say hello, right? And then I'll just say x is equal to 5 here, and then we'll go down here and say Python test snippet py. So just like that, that's the beauty and the power of snippets. So how do we go about creating one or getting this file set up in VS Code or installing one if you already have one? So let's hop into that right now. Okay, so to install a snippet file or set up in VS Code, what you're going to come down what you're going to do is basically come down into the bottom left corner where there is the gear icon at the very bottom left corner of your GUI, and when it pops up, you're going to see the option where it says snippets. Now you're just going to click that. That's going to bring down this drop down that you can then, ideally, you'll probably have it show that like there isn't an existing snippet. So you have to come down here and choose what you want to do it for. So it has all these different languages that you could do it for. You could do global snippets files, but you'll basically want to scroll down, find the one that says like Python. In my case, since I already have it chosen, I'm just going to select that one. And when it pops up, you should have it show something like this, where it shows you exactly or gives you information on exactly how to create a snippets file. So what I have done though is I've gone through and created 50 different snippets that if you want, you can have them available for purchase, but you can essentially grab them in the description below. But essentially I've set up all these different things from like print statements, swapping variables, getting iterable lengths, using f strings, if statements, if else, all this stuff, for loops, enumerates, list comprehensions, main functions with like what I just showed, or the if name just by itself, function stuff, class stuff. I have a ton of them, 50 different things that you can do. But what you can do is simply grab this file or create one, and we'll create one here in a minute. But you can simply grab this file. So I'm just gonna say Control A or Command A since I'm on a Mac. Command C. Come into my my Python.json file, and I'm just gonna say Control A, Command A, Command V, and just like that, it's gonna give us all of our snippets. So I'm gonna scroll all the way to the top. And I'm going to kind of show you this print snippet where this is the one where all you have to do to create a snippet is give it a unique name. Then you give it a prefix. Now the prefix is the thing that you type in to start or to have it kind of show up like in your IntelliSense. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure you save that file too. So I'll save it. So then we'll go here and like when I say print, this is what's going to show up from the prefix. There it is right there. So the prefix. And then you'll have basically the body, and this is the code that you're going to or that you want it to print. And then you'll have the description, which is basically, kind of give a description about it. But there's one other setting that you need to change. Now, we're going to go back into our settings, and we're going to go to our settings file. So hit the gear icon on the very bottom left, bring up until you see setting, click that. You should see something like this, and now I'm going to search for snippet. Now, the default parameter for this in VS Code is the snippet suggestion, which is that, the thing that pops up is going to say inline. You probably want, or I like it to be at least, is at the top. So then I'm going to hit save that, and then I'm going to go back to that. And what that essentially does is when I type in something like print, and it brings up this IntelliSense, you'll see that that snippet comes up to the very top. So I'm going to hit that, and boom, just like that. There's our snippet. It's ready to go. And the nice thing, too, about some of these is you have the ability to use these curly braces that can basically when you put these curly braces here, these are the things that show up like, that are highlighted just like that. And if you do like the curly brace 1, which is the first argument for that snippet, and then do colon, you can put a default value after the colon. And that's kind of what I did here. And I did that with a lot of different things. Like again, I have swap variables, So if I wanted to swap 2 variables, I can come in here and I can say, let's swap vars. And just like that, now, if I change this to X, you see that I had it set up so that when that that first parameter is triggered right there in that, so I can just change both at the same time. I can hit the tab button, and when I hit the tab, that now goes to the second variable for the second argument, and I can say that's Y or whatever I want it to be, and then I can tab through it again, and just like that, it brings us out of that snippet. So that's essentially what snippets are. That's how you can install snippets in VS Code, or if you want to, how you can create them. Basically, it's just a JSON file with information that looks kind of like this, and this prefix, body, and description. I'll kind of show you one. Maybe I'll go to the bottom here, and I'll show you. Here's one that I did that's kind of flattened nested list, where for the body, you put a list value, and then for each row, you put an individual string of what you want it to look like, and that's the code. And then I have something, commented out where if you do go ahead and get this file from the link in my description, essentially you'll find that I've got some example stuff that's commented out. So if you want to see how it works, you can just kind of uncomment that, and then it'll pop up the rest of that value. So, and I'll show you that right here. So if I go in here and I do, let's say, flatten list, boom, just like that, it's popped up. That was without the comment stuff. So now if I comment this back out, I'll go ahead in here and uncomment this in my snippet file, and then we'll go ahead and then we'll show you the difference. Flatten list, and boom. Oh, I didn't save. Make sure you save. Boom. And just like that, it pops up with our example that you can test with. So that is basically a snippet file. That's how you can install one. That's how you can also create your own individual snippets. And again, like I mentioned, I have gone through and created 50 different, I would say, more commonly used or syntax styled snippets that, swapping variables, f strings, prints, syntax for ifs, for loops, all that stuff. So that is available in the description below, or there's a link, I guess, in the description below for that. But if you have any questions, please leave a comment below. And until next time, keep on programming.